Well, hello, beautiful ones. I am Stacey Murphy, the head vixen of the Vixen Academy, and I want to welcome you to my video tip today, where I'm going to be talking about a really powerful hack to help you navigate the fear of change and the unknown. Do you think right now there's a lot of fear of change and the unknown going on in society? So yes, this is like prime timing right now, especially for the changes in the unknown that is occurring in our relationship. So if this is the first time that you're seeing one of my videos, you can learn more about my sassy, juicy work that I do by going to thevixenacademy.com, as well as there'll be a link in the description below if you're looking at this on YouTube. That's how you can get to my website as well. And later on, I will tell you and let you know how you can join my juicy community as well to get more tips like this faster into your inbox. All right. So let's go to today's topic about a hack to navigating the fear of change and the unknown. And I was hoping to do this without my reading glasses, but that's not happening. So here we go, making it real. I need to see what part of what I wanted to say to you. So when it comes to fear of change or the unknown, right? What usually is freaking out from that fear is the ego, right? Because the ego hates change. Now, here's one of the things why this is important for us to really get this skill down is, you know what, there aren't many things that are guaranteed in life, but here are a couple of things that are guaranteed in life. That is, we're guaranteed taxes, death, and change. Those are the three things that we are guaranteed to experience in this lifetime. So since that's one of the three things, we need to learn how to navigate it like a champ. We need to learn how to navigate fear and navigate change in the unknown with grace. Because when we don't, you know what it looks like? It looks like those people losing their marbles at restaurants because of certain service issues. That's like people losing their shit at the airport because now there are these additional precautions that need to be made. Those are all examples or out pictures of people that fear change in the unknown, and they're being resistant and they're holding on to what they knew. Now, listen to what I said, what they knew, because here's the realities of things. You know, at the beginning of 2020, none of us thought it was going to be this type of year, but we have been experiencing the biggest trifecta that some of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes. That is a pandemic. Then here in all over the world, here in the States, the economy. And then a third thing that's happening here in the States is racial unrest. So that is the trifecta that is going on here in the United States. And so it has people all wound up, right? And they're like a pressure cooker ready to blow their top and things of that nature. Now, what happens is when you are no longer afraid of change or the unknown, that is when you get your freedom. That is when you can see the opportunities that are right here in front of you and you can actually take advantage of them. Because when you are afraid of change in the unknown, this is the cycle. So here's the pattern that normally you will see when this fear is wreaking havoc in your life. Right? So it's good for you to recognize it. That way, when you recognize it, you know what you need to change in your world, okay? So the first thing is fear of change leaves our mind in a constant state of either overwhelm or indecision. We're either overthinking things and then we don't know what decision to make. And then it puts us in indecision, okay? So that's the first thing. And so when you are in overwhelm or indecision, fear becomes the root of your resistance. So like I said, those people that are resisting certain types of health protocols so that the economy can stay open, they're in a place of resistance, right? And then other thing that can happen with resistance is you're questioning yourself. You're wondering, what should you do? Things of that nature. And when resistance and questioning is in your life and it's like in the forefront of your life, that, my friends, is actually what is keeping you stuck and unfulfilled. Right there. It's that cycle that's going right there. And there are some people that are navigating this trifecta, this great year of pause. They're actually navigating it way more successfully. And the way they're doing it, I'm going to be sharing with you a hack that will help you do just that. But I first want to also let you know, when I said that the ego is the one that is afraid of change, right? It's the ego mind. Because the ego is responsible for keeping us safe. That is one of the jobs of everybody's ego, is to keep us safe. So what happens is the ego mind operates like this. It goes, yeah, you know what? This situation, this person is not working for me. It makes me miserable. But the ego mind goes, but at least I know how to deal with the shit, right? I don't know if we make any changes. I don't know how to handle that. And since I don't know how to handle that, I don't know how to keep you safe, right? That's how the ego mind operates, right? It says, because I don't know what's going to happen, I can't keep you safe. So it'll say like, even though, you know, this is miserable, at least I know how to deal with the shit, right? And that's what the ego mind does. And what does that do? That keeps you stuck. You go absolutely nowhere. Because the ego also, the ego mind, think of it this way, it's like a child that has a temper tantrum. And if you have children, right, or if you've seen other people's children go through temper tantrums, especially if you're at a store, right, a grocery store or something like that, and they're like throwing their body down the aisle, that's what I'm talking about, temper tantrum. What do you normally do? You do not give into a temper tantrum, because if you do give into a temper tantrum, what happens? Your child will manipulate you from that day forward, and it will be even that much more difficult for you to instill with them good behavior and good character. So what do most parents do? They don't give into the temper tantrum. They correct that behavior right then and there. None of this wait till we get home crap. They take care of it right then and there, because then you're teaching your child this behavior does not get rewarded. This behavior will actually get you in more trouble, right? So it's the same thing. When we are afraid of change in the unknown, we actually are giving into, or you are actually giving into your ego's temper tantrum. That's exactly what you're doing. And you're also telling your ego, the ego is saying, I'm in control. Because you know what? It's right. When you're afraid of change and you have resistance, know what you need to do. Or if you're afraid of the unknown, you are actually giving your ego control. So your ego is controlling your life. You are not controlling your life. Sorry to tell you that. But at least now that you know that, you can now do something to shift and change that and put Miss Ego or Mr. Ego in their place. And that's one of the things I tell my clients. Think of and treat your ego outside of yourself. Speak out loud to your ego so you do not internalize the rattlings of the ego in your head, okay? And so when you decide to take command of your ego, that is when things in your life will actually begin to shift and change. That is when the change doesn't seem so scary. That's when this unknown actually becomes more clear to you, because your mind is not in overwhelm. And think of it this way. Here's another way. I teach in a lot of analogies so that you can really get the concepts that I'm teaching and training you. So think of your mind as the operating system on your cell phone or your computer that you're actually watching this video on, probably, right? So that is your mind. It's your mind is your operating system of a computer. Well, what happens is when you give into the tantrums of your ego, that's like a virus on your computer. So when you have a virus on your computer, do you leave the virus there? Of course not. You take it to a tech doctor. So the tech doctor can remove the virus off of your computer so it can be working operationally the way it's supposed to. So that is how your mind works, exactly like with the operating system and the ego. So when you give into your ego mind, that is a virus of the mind, all right? And so even Wayne Dyer, if you're not familiar with him, he's great. He's already made his transition, but he had a book called Virus of the Mind. And so that's exactly what it is. When you give into the fear of change and the unknown, it's the virus of the mind that is coming from your ego. And hear about when you employ this hack, that is like taking your computer or your phone to a tech doctor so they can remove the virus out of your computer. So now you're going to be removing this virus out of your mind. And so here's what you're going to do. And these are like, it's a stellar hack. I use this in my life all the time. I teach my clients and students about this as well. And so you can actually start employing this after you finish watching this video. You can start using it right then and there. All right. So the first thing, so this hack is all about really bringing and utilizing the power of archetypes or a persona. Right? So persona work is done a lot in like psychology as well as in a lot of business thought leaders, like the top 1%, CEOs and things of that nature. And so they do a lot of persona work, archetype work that's there. But I also utilize that in my coaching with my clients, especially in my Love Goddess and my Manifest Your Man programs. My goddesses, they really do some deep persona work, developing their Love Goddess persona, because that is their sassy alter ego, their supergirl armor that they have on, that they are engaging in the world. And this is what makes them feel holistic, because it's not a fairy tale. It's actually an aspect of who you truly are that has been on lockdown inside of you because you've been too afraid. You've been too afraid. And so this process, especially the ones I go through with my clients, it actually brings that out from within them so they can feel holistic versus feeling like fragmented individuals. So the three archetypes we're going to be playing with on this particular hack is the archetype of the scientist, the explorer, and the gamer. Okay, those are the three archetypes that we're going to be working on with this particular hack. And I use two of the three on a consistent basis, and I'll let you know what those are. So the first archetype I'm going to share with you is the scientist, and that is probably my main archetype that I leverage whenever I have like, oh my God, you know, anxiety starts coming up about something, or a fear may come in, and I'm like, okay, let me get my scientific brain going on, because the scientist works for me because of all my years in study of science of mind. Science of mind, scientists, you get the connection here, right? And stuff. And select the ones that fit your personality. So if scientist doesn't work with you, maybe you'll be the explorer or the gamer, right? So select what works with your personality, okay? So with the scientist, this is how this will work. You're going to view a situation, you're going to view a situation, an event, a circumstance, a person, whatever, from a scientist, as if you're doing an experiment. So for example, say there's someone that's in your life on a consistent basis, and you have a very difficult time with them. Like every single time you're having an interaction with them, it seems to turn out nowhere where you want it to go. So that's what makes you very apprehensive of having a conversation and engaging with this person. And you feel like you want to shrink when you're around this person because it doesn't feel good, but you can't get away from them, right? So it's like, what do you do? So here's how a scientist will look at it. Well, every single time I'm in the company of this person, and this is how I feel, and this is how I end up behaving, this is what I end up saying, this is how those interactions always end, and it never feels good. So, okay, as a scientist, I'm wondering, if I take this different action, and if I try this approach, and you know what? When I say this to this person, it never works out, so let me say this. What have I got to lose? Because what I'm experiencing right now doesn't feel good, so I don't have much to lose. So let me try it a different way. And let me see what results I get. And then whatever results I get, I'll document that down, and then I'll know what I need to tweak and change next time I need to or have to engage with this individual. That's how a scientist operates. Here's where this is such a ninja tool and a ninja hack. It takes the personal. You're not taking things personally anymore, because what you're doing is you're taking it like a scientist, and you're using logic and you're using experimentation to see what results that you get. And a scientist is also like a detective. So like if you like any of those detective criminal shows and doing things like that, if you like puzzles, right? If you're a person that likes puzzles and likes figuring things out, the scientist archetype may be a good hack for you to use. And then that way you take the personal out of it. and you're not taking things personally, and you won't take their reaction personally, because your mindset will be like, I'm doing an experiment. I want to see what this works out. And it may shock and surprise you how you will then finally get either the results or the interaction or the reaction from that person that you've been struggling with all this time to receive. And you're not taking it personally, you're taking it more objectively. And then that way it removes the fear so you can move forward. So that is the first archetype I wanted to share with you. Now, the second one is the explorer. View the event, the circumstance, whatever it is, as you're going on an adventure. Because what do explorers do? Explorers go out into the great unknown. They want to see what they find. They want to see what they discover. They are open to going on a big adventure. So if any of you are, say, your travel bugs, now a lot of us are not doing much travel right now, right? Maybe in our local countries or even in our community, that's the extent of a lot of travel that people are doing. So what happens is, but if you like to travel, try on the explorer archetype, right? So think about your attitude when you go out to travel and discover and do something new. You are excited to see what you're going to find. So use that same attitude and energy when it comes to this great unknown. So like, for example, when it comes to like dating, like if you're a free agent, how we were doing dating before and how we were meeting our new prospects has changed. And the way we were doing it in the past, that's not going to come back anytime soon. It's not. That's the truth. And what's being replacing the immediate face-to-face dating is video dating. This is a change. People at the beginning were like, what are we going to do? How are we going to be dating now? Well, that's a change that happened. And what happens is, do it as an adventure. Let's see what's going on. This is something new. And there are a lot of people that are actually finding out they're enjoying adding this element into the dating scene, right? So a lot of people were afraid of it, but then as we started doing it, they're like, wow, this actually is really cool. And now they're including it. They're not afraid of it anymore. They're looking forward to it. And that is an example of what it can look like when you're the explorer and you use that hack in how to navigate fear and change, right? So the third one is being a gamer, and that particular archetype, I do use that myself. That's the second one that I use. And I actually started using, getting back into games after I had my concussion a couple of years ago. And my doctor said, he goes, hey, play Tetris every single day to help rewire the synapses in your brain from the concussion. And that was the first time I had played Tetris in 25 years. And I had to get re-familiar. But now I play a game every single day, right? Now I do Toy Blast. That's like my new game that I'm playing right now. But what happens is when you see things as a game, you view situations from strategy. And you want to win the game. You want that prize. You want that prize. You want that score. That's why people are really into gaming. You want to challenge yourself against other competitors, and you want that rise from winning the game. So that is another way you can use that archetype in this hack, right? Of how to navigate, change and fear of the unknown. See it like a game. What strategy are you going to use? So when the virus started to take full effect here in the States, what I was originally going to do for my business this year, that was not going to work. So I was like, okay, what does a gamer do? Let's kind of pivot here. Let's think of a new strategy here of what I'm going to do. And by golly, I am so glad that I immediately went into action, put on my gamer hat, thought of a new strategy, because it has been the saving grace for me this year, for sure. And so what happens is, this is how I actually use this hack in my life. Anytime I'm questioning something, anytime I feel like I'm overthinking something, anytime I have anxiety, like before getting on a video getting on the camera to do a video, yes, I do go through anxiety, right? So what happens is I even use these hacks to get through that. So I want you to go ahead after this video, just say to yourself, okay, I am not going to be one of those people losing my marbles out in public because I am afraid or resistant to change or the unknown. this is how I'm going to view it. So I'm actually going to view this like a scientist, or maybe I'm going to view it as an explorer, or maybe I'm going to view it as a gamer, and see how employing this hack will actually make your navigating change and the unknown so much easier. Trust me on that one, so much easier. All right. So if you please, if you like this video, if you're looking at this video on YouTube, go ahead and click on the like button below and let me know, what are you? Are you the scientist? Are you the explorer? Are you the gamer? And after you've used this hack, how has it shifted things for you? I would definitely love to know. And if you want to be in my community and get some more juicy goodness like this, where I go a little bit deeper, you can find me on the web at thevixenacademy.com. There's going to be a link down below if you're watching this in YouTube. As well, if you want to join my community, there's also a link down below to get my Love Goddess quiz. So you can take my Love Goddess quiz. I think it's only, maybe 11 or 12 questions. That's all it is. So you can find out how you are projecting to men. And you will find out in the Love Goddess quiz how men see you. And then you'll receive information on what you can do about that, right? You'll be one of 3 archetypes, and then you'll get information of what you can do about that. And that is what allows you to be in my community, to get my emails, to get my newsletter, to know where I'm going to be going next, and to find out all of my programs and classes, my masterminds, and what I'm teaching. So, and I would love for you to join my juicy and joyful committee, or community is what I should say. Sometimes it feels like a committee, but it's a community. That's what I like. So with that, everybody, we are complete. Namaste and be well.